What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to follow on the theme from yesterday's video where we ranked my 30 stock blue chip portfolio from 1 to 30 based on longevity and potential going forward within my own portfolio. So today we're going to do something similar and rank my overall portfolio from best to worst in terms of performance. So at the moment we have about €7,800 in my portfolio, so we're 7.8% of the way towards my overall goal of having 100,000 invested in the market. At the moment we're up 11% or just under €800. So just a very brief overview of my channel or portfolio if you're new around here. So firstly we have 30 blue chip companies all diversified across different sectors. There's two main reasons for this. Firstly is due to diversification, to spread my risk across all different sectors as different sectors perform differently for different market outcomes. And second of all, mainly is got to do with dollar cost averaging. So by having 30 companies, it's quite a large amount in a normal portfolio. So that always gives me ample opportunity to dollar cost average within any of these 30 stocks if they go into the red. So we'll start with the bottom of the pile and we'll work our way up from worst to best performers within my overall portfolio. Now some of these might be surprising to see. Even when I was compiling the information on the Excel, it was quite kind of interesting to see that some of the stocks that I originally thought were doing well were not, and stocks that I thought weren't doing so well actually were. So it's kind of, in my own opinion, some of the stocks should be at the top, but they're actually at the bottom and vice versa. So it's interesting to see, especially on your own portfolio, to see how your stocks are actually performing at any given time. And again, it's worth noting that any of these stocks that are in the red, I continually drip feed small amounts of capital in at any given time to help improve my overall dollar cost average, effectively give me a cheaper overall price, which in the long term should give me a bigger overall profit. So we'll start with the 5 worst performers in my portfolio. Now, as I just mentioned prior to this, it's quite alarming, or funny as should I say, that 3 of the bottom companies are actually 3 companies I'm quite bullish on going forward and that I see a lot of potential for. So I presume a lot of people's position in Tesla has suffered recently, but again, you can see the likes of these bottom companies here. Tesla is down 21%, iShares Global Clean Energy is down 14.3%, and Amazon is down 3.5%. Now it's worth noting that Amazon, that's mainly due to FX impact, but for the bottom two, Tesla and iShares, like they are down quite a lot in terms of percentage wise, but that does give you great opportunity to load up at a cheaper price if you do believe that going forward in the long term, these are the style companies that are going to do best. So I'm certainly not selling or panic selling any of these companies. If anything, I'll be buying even more. So as I said, we had the bottom 3 here: Amazon, iShares Global Clean Energy, and Tesla, the bottom 3. And then the top 2 of the bottom 5 are P&G and Pfizer, both down just under 2% each. So the bottom 5 are the only 5 that are currently in the red. Now going forward over the next few weeks, I'm going to focus on those 5 and especially start trickling in further capital to get it back into the green, effectively give me a better and cheaper price, which in the long term, the plan is that it will give me a bigger overall profit. The next 5, we can again see the importance of diversification. We have different sectors here ranging from communication or consumer staples, consumer discretionary, we have real estate, etc. And all 5 of these companies are in the green. We have McDonald's, Facebook and Nike, PepsiCo and Realty Income, all up between 0.5 and 3.8%. So again, they're pretty much doing fairly average at the moment. Next 5 companies are in 4 different sectors. They're up between 4.47 to 9.94%. We have Apple and IBM, 2 tech stocks, then Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson and Waste Management. Now I'm quite surprised with Waste Management. Like over the last few months, it was down in my overall portfolio and it was always hovering around the 1% plus or minus. So it's nice to see that it's currently up just under 10%. Also in yesterday's video, Apple was one of the top companies in terms of my main picks to keep my portfolio, and also that ones that have promise going forward. So even though it's up about 5.47%, I'll continually add in funds into this, as going forward, I really do feel that this is going to be one of the main market leaders. The next 5 companies are all in double figures in the green. We have the likes of Microsoft up 10.3%. Now yesterday's video, I had Microsoft as one of my bottom companies, as I believe the other tech stocks that I held had more potential, but it's still nice to see that it's up over 10%. Visa and MasterCard are here as well. Visa is up 11.97 and MasterCard is up 15.7. The reason I had 2 of these banking or financial stocks is to kind of have diversification within my financial sector, because I had the more bricks and mortar styles, Bank of America, etc. So it's all going to be online banking going forward and cryptocurrencies, etc. So that's kind of my reasoning behind holding those two stocks. We then have the likes of the FTSE 100, which tracks the top 100 companies within the UK, is up over 14.5%. And we also have 3M in there, up 12.7%. Next five, the percentages are starting to jump up a bit here. We have firstly the S&P 500, which is up 15.76%. Now in yesterday's video, I had this at number 1, so it's kind of interesting to see here in terms of performance. It's currently at number 10. A lot of people kind of just prefer to keep the S&P 500 investing instead of picking individual stocks. But it's kind of interesting to see here that if we did so, this would be in 10th position. We then have AbbVie, which is up 23.86%. I'm quite surprised with how good that's doing at the moment. We then have Alphabet up 37.9%. Again, this is one that I always keep in my portfolio no matter what, as it really does have a stronghold within its sector. We then are jumping up in terms of Caterpillar, up 43.66%. Now Caterpillar, just like Waste Management, I'm very surprised, especially with Caterpillar, how well it's doing at the moment, because only a few weeks ago it was only up about 2 or 3% in my portfolio. So I was quite surprised, and I wasn't even aware that it was up so much, to be honest, but I'm quite happy with how it's doing. And then Chevron is currently up 51.76%. Now we saw earlier in the video that iShares Global Clean Energy is way down the list in terms of performance. In fact, it's in the red, down about 13 or 14% if I remember correctly. But going forward, I do think there's going to be a fairly big switch from the likes of these Chevron stocks to more clean energy style companies such as my iShares Global Clean Energy ETF. So again, that's why I'm going to remain holding and bullish on the iShares Global Clean Energy, because long term I do believe it's going to be very important within the stocks. My top 5 performing companies are all up over 50%, which is great to see. We have a Bank of America and JP Morgan, two financial companies, up 54 and 58% respectively. Now we also have Goldman Sachs is up 68.99. So I do believe the reason they're up so well is because we got it in a fairly good time during the crash. Like, with all these banking stocks were down a fair amount of money. So the reason they're up doing so well in my portfolio is, again, I just think I was lucky with timing, to be honest. We also have Walt Disney up 59.4%. Again, just like the banking stocks, I do believe we got in at a good time and it was more due to luck. So again, Walt Disney is one of those stocks that, who doesn't like Walt Disney? Everyone does. So I'll be always kind of keeping that stock in terms of interest in my portfolio as well. And at number 1 is another surprising one. ExxonMobil is up 78.58%. Now ExxonMobil, just like Chevron that I mentioned a few seconds ago, I do believe there will be a change in shift and paradigm going forward from these old school style energy stocks to the more clean energy stocks. So that's it for today's video. I thought it'd be interesting to look through my overall portfolio in that aspect in terms of worst to best performers, and I might give you some ideas for your own portfolio going forward. If you found this video anyway helpful or interesting, it'd be much appreciated if you could smash that like button, and again, as always, if you're new around here, it'd be really appreciated if you consider subscribing to the channel. If you have any questions, comments, queries or suggestions, please don't hesitate to comment below and I'll be sure to get back to you as quick as I can. Thanks very much, enjoy your Tuesday, and I will see you all in tomorrow's video.